Have you ever wondered how men truly show they care, beyond the usual flowers, compliments, or grand romantic gestures? It's a question that often puzzles us because the way men express affection can be surprisingly subtle, layered, and sometimes even invisible if you're only looking for the obvious. Now, stick with me because by the end of this section, you'll begin to see care from a fresh perspective, one inspired by Jordan Peterson's insightful observations on male behavior. This isn't about cliches or stereotypes, it's about decoding the quiet, often overlooked ways men reveal their genuine concern and commitment. Men notice. But their expressions of care don't always shout. Instead, they whisper through actions more than words, through consistency more than declarations. Jordan Peterson points out that when a man truly cares, it's not always packaged in the kind of overt affection we're conditioned to expect. This is not about grand romantic speeches or lavish gifts. It's about something deeper, often more practical, and surprisingly more meaningful. And here's the thing, these subtle signs are just as powerful, if not more so, because they require a different kind of attention to recognize. Confidence is not just about appearing strong or dominant. It's about a man taking responsibility within relationships, showing up consistently, and quietly investing in the well-being of those he cares for. This confidence manifests not in loud proclamations but in steady, reliable actions that build trust over time. When a man is truly interested, his care is woven into the very fabric of his daily behavior. It's a form of embodied cognition, his intentions are expressed through his habits and choices, not just his words. Now, what does this actually look like? Let's explore some of those unexpected behaviors that signal genuine concern. For example, a man might solve problems quietly without making a fuss. Rather than announcing his efforts, he steps in behind the scenes to ease burdens and smooth difficulties. This is not about control or showing off, it's about a protective instinct that says, I want to make your life easier, even if he doesn't say it out loud. Notice how this differs from traditional romantic gestures, it's pragmatic, grounded, and deeply caring. Another sign is patience during difficult times. When adversity strikes, a man who truly cares doesn't rush to fix everything with grand gestures or empty promises. Instead, he stays present, offering steady support without pressure or judgment. This patience is a form of emotional endurance, it reflects his commitment to weather storms alongside you, not just when things are easy or convenient. And here's the thing, patience isn't passive. It's an active choice to prioritize emotional stability and show respect for your experience, even when it's challenging. Practical support is another hallmark. Men often show care by offering concrete help, whether that's fixing something broken, running errands, or simply being a reliable presence when you need it most. These actions might seem mundane, but they are powerful indicators of a man's investment in the relationship. It's about demonstrating responsibility and attentiveness through everyday deeds that say, I'm here, and I'm committed. This grounded approach to care reflects a deep understanding that love isn't just about feeling good, it's about building a foundation that can hold through life's ups and downs. And here's where it gets interesting, these behaviors often fly under the radar because they don't fit the cultural scripts we expect for expressing affection. Men notice and act, but they may not verbalize their intentions in ways that are immediately recognizable. This is not a lack of emotion or depth, rather, it's a different language of care, one that values doing over saying, consistency over spontaneity, and responsibility over romantic idealism. This perspective challenges us to broaden our understanding of what care looks like, especially when it comes from men. It calls us to pay closer attention to the nuances of behavior, the quiet, steady, and sometimes invisible ways men show that they value and respect those they love. And here's the thing, when you start to recognize these subtle signals, it changes how you experience relationships. You begin to see care not as a flashy performance but as a series of small, meaningful commitments that build trust and connection over time. Now, I want you to reflect for a moment. Think about the men in your life, partners, friends, family members. Have you noticed these quiet signs of care before? Maybe a man who doesn't say much but always shows up when you need support, or one who patiently listens without trying to fix everything immediately. These are not just isolated incidents, they are part of a broader pattern that, once understood, reveals a deep well of affection and commitment. Men notice, and their care is often expressed through responsibility and action more than words. Confidence is not just about bravado, it's about steady presence and reliability. It's about being the one who quietly solves problems, who patiently endures hard times, and who offers practical support without fanfare. When a man is truly interested, these small acts accumulate into a powerful statement of love and respect. This is not a lesson in traditional romance, it's an invitation to decode the real, often hidden ways men show they care. It's about learning to see beyond surface-level expressions and appreciating the complexity of male emotional life. And here's the thing, once you start noticing these patterns, you'll find a richer, more nuanced understanding of connection that can transform your relationships. So, keep this in mind as we continue exploring. There's much more to uncover about how men express care in ways that might surprise you. And remember, these behaviors are not just quirks or exceptions, they are fundamental aspects of how many men embody affection and commitment in everyday life. Men notice. Confidence is not just loud declarations or flashy gifts. It's about consistent, responsible actions that speak volumes in silence. When a man is truly interested, his care shows up in the quiet, the practical, and the patient. And here's the thing, learning to recognize these signals can deepen your understanding of relationships and open doors to more authentic connections. Decode relationships, transform connections. Building on what we've just explored, let's dive deeper into the emotional landscape that often shapes how men show care, especially through protective instincts and emotional reserve. This part of the journey will illuminate another layer of male affection that is just as vital but frequently misunderstood. By the time we finish this section, you'll begin to appreciate how men's protective behaviors and thoughtful restraint are powerful, albeit subtle, expressions of genuine concern. Men notice the well-being of those they care about in ways that go beyond words and practical support. One of the most primal and profound ways men show care is through protective behaviors. Jordan Peterson highlights that this protective instinct isn't just about physical safety, it extends to emotional and social realms as well. When a man is truly invested, he instinctively guards your well-being, whether it's shielding you from harm, defending your reputation, or simply creating a safe space where you can be yourself without fear of judgment. This protective impulse can be easy to overlook because it doesn't always manifest as dramatic or overt actions. It might be as simple as standing up for you in a conversation, or more complex like anticipating potential challenges and quietly mitigating them before they become problems. This is not about control or possessiveness, rather, it's a thoughtful, often unspoken commitment to your security and happiness. And here's the thing, recognizing this protective care requires sensitivity to the nuances of behavior that convey safety and support. Now, what about emotional reserve? It's a common misconception that men who don't openly share their feelings are somehow less caring. But this is not the case. Emotional reserve often masks a deep well of thoughtfulness and consideration. Peterson explains that men may appear stoic or silent because they are carefully managing their emotions to maintain stability in the relationship. This measured response isn't coldness, it's a form of care aimed at avoiding unnecessary conflict and fostering a calm, steady environment. Think about it this way, when a man chooses to respond with calmness instead of emotional volatility, he's investing in the long-term health of the relationship. This kind of emotional regulation is a silent promise to be reliable and stable, especially during stressful times. It's about creating a foundation where both partners can feel secure and understood, even when words are scarce. And here's the thing, this patience and restraint often require more emotional strength than we realize. Investing time and attention is another crucial way men show care, even if it's not always verbally expressed. When a man prioritizes quality moments together, listens intently, or simply makes himself available, these are powerful signals of his commitment. Peterson emphasizes that this focused attention is a form of emotional investment that transcends superficial interactions. It's the difference between being physically present but mentally absent, and truly engaging with the person you care about. Men notice the importance of these shared moments and often express their affection through presence rather than proclamations. This is not about flashy displays, it's about meaningful engagement, being there in ways that matter most. Whether it's helping you unwind after a tough day or simply sitting together in comfortable silence, these instances build emotional synchrony and deepen connection. And here's the thing, the quality of attention often speaks louder than any words could. This approach challenges the stereotype that men must always be expressive or demonstrative to show care. Instead, it invites us to appreciate the power of subtlety and presence. Protective behaviors, emotional reserve, and focused attention are all intertwined ways men communicate their affection on a deeper, often nonverbal level. This is not a lack of emotion, it's an alternative expression that prioritizes safety, stability, and meaningful connection. Now, I want you to consider this: have you noticed moments when a man's protective nature quietly shaped your experience? Perhaps a time when he diffused tension with calm words or actions, or when his steady presence made you feel safe without a single grand gesture. These are not just random acts, they are part of a consistent pattern that reveals profound care beneath the surface. Men notice, and their care often takes the form of guarding your well-being, physically, emotionally, and socially. Confidence is not just about being outspoken, it's about thoughtful emotional regulation that fosters stability. When a man is truly interested, his patience, protective instincts, and focused attention become the pillars of his affection. This is not a lesson in traditional emotional expression, it's an invitation to see care through a broader lens, one that honors the quiet, resilient ways men invest in relationships. And here's the thing, when you begin to recognize these subtle forms of care, your understanding of connection deepens and your relationships gain a new level of richness. Men notice. Confidence is not just loud declarations or flashy gifts. It's about consistent, responsible actions that speak volumes in silence. When a man is truly interested, his care shows up in the quiet, the practical, and the patient. And here's the thing, learning to recognize these signals can deepen your understanding of relationships and open doors to more authentic connections. Decode relationships, transform connections. As we continue to unravel how men show care in unexpected ways, let's turn our attention to two of the most profound indicators: vulnerability and long-term commitment. These aspects reveal not only the depth of a man's emotional investment but also his readiness to build a lasting connection that goes beyond surface-level affection. By the end of this section, you'll gain insight into why vulnerability is a powerful signal of care and how consistency cements trust over time. Men notice, and when a man is truly interested, one of the most revealing signs is his willingness to be vulnerable. This isn't something that comes easily, especially given societal expectations around masculinity and emotional expression. Jordan Peterson highlights that vulnerability, sharing fears, insecurities, or asking for help, is a profound act of trust and emotional openness. It signals that a man feels safe enough to expose his inner world, which is no small thing. This is not weakness, it is courage and a deep form of connection. Think about it, when a man shares his vulnerabilities, it's an invitation to intimacy. He's saying, I trust you enough to show you parts of myself that are raw and unguarded. This kind of openness creates neurological synchrony between partners, fostering empathy and mutual understanding. And here's the thing, vulnerability is often the gateway to authentic emotional bonding because it requires both parties to engage with empathy and compassion. But vulnerability doesn't stop at sharing fears, it also includes asking for help or admitting mistakes. These actions break down barriers and signal a man's commitment to growing alongside his partner. This is not about perfection, it's about honesty and mutual support. When a man allows himself to be vulnerable, he's essentially investing emotionally in the relationship's future, demonstrating that he values the connection enough to risk discomfort and uncertainty. Now, let's talk about consistency and reliability, perhaps the strongest evidence of care in the long run. Peterson emphasizes that actions over time matter more than any isolated grand gesture. When a man shows up consistently, keeps promises, and manages conflicts constructively, he's building a foundation of trust that sustains lasting commitment. This is not flashy or dramatic, it's the steady rhythm of dependability that says, "I'm here for the long haul." Consider how transformative it is when a partner is reliable, especially during challenging moments. Consistency isn't just about being physically present, it's about emotional availability, follow-through, and maintaining integrity even when it's difficult. This builds a kind of emotional safety that allows both partners to thrive. And here's the thing, consistency is often overlooked because it's less exciting than grand romantic gestures, but it's ultimately more essential. Men notice that relationships require patience and perseverance. Confidence is not just about making bold moves, it's about the quiet commitment to show up day after day, through ups and downs, with steady care. When a man is truly interested, he invests in the relationship's longevity through reliable actions that reinforce trust and connection. Now, I want you to reflect, have you experienced moments where a man's vulnerability deepened your connection? Maybe he shared a personal struggle or asked for your support in a way that surprised you. Or perhaps you noticed how his consistent presence and dependable behavior gave you a sense of security that words alone couldn't provide. These are not coincidences, they are powerful signals that reveal true care beneath the surface. This is not a lesson in fleeting passion, it's an exploration of enduring love that requires courage, honesty, and steadfastness. Vulnerability opens the door to authentic emotional connection, while consistency builds the trust that keeps that connection alive. Together, they form the backbone of meaningful relationships where both partners feel valued and understood. Men notice, and their care is often shown in the willingness to be vulnerable and the commitment to consistency. Confidence is not just about appearances or momentary charm, it's about emotional courage and reliability over time. When a man is truly interested, his vulnerability and dependability become the pillars of genuine affection. And here's the thing, understanding these signals empowers you to recognize real care, even when it's not loudly proclaimed. It invites you to engage in deeper dialogue about emotional needs and encourages a richer, more authentic connection. So, now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed these unexpected signs of care in the men around you? How has vulnerability or consistency shaped your relationships? Your experiences matter, and sharing them can help us all decode relationships and transform connections. Let's keep this conversation going, exploring the beautiful complexities of male emotional expression together. Men notice. Confidence is not just loud declarations or flashy gifts. It's about consistent, responsible actions that speak volumes in silence. When a man is truly interested, his care shows up in vulnerability, reliability, and quiet commitment. And here's the thing, learning to recognize these signals can deepen your understanding of relationships and open doors to more authentic connections. Decode relationships, transform connections. If you loved the story, like the video and subscribe.